Good morning. I thought I'd give a rundown of my kayak today and the equipment that I use and how I have it all set up. We'll start up at the front. This is a Pelican Catch 120. It's 11 foot 9 inches long and weighs 67 pounds empty. I've done some modifications to it. Starting up here at the bow, you can see where I added a lot of pad eyes, and they match on the other side and across the back, and we'll go over in a little while why I did that and what I used them for. It has a front storage hatch. A little bit of water in there. We had a storm last night and the boat was sitting out. It's got a good bit of room inside the storage hatch. And I'll show you some of the things that I keep stowed in there when I'm underway. Moving back, I added a Scotty mount here. I have a rod holder that goes with it. When I'm anchored out and catfishing, I can use that to set my rod in, and it's well in front of me and out of the way. There's a tie down there for a leash if I want to tether the rod to the boat so I don't lose it. Boat comes with two Scotty mounts, the Scotty rails on the side. You can mount fish finders, rod holders, cup holders, anything you want. The boat also has a molded in paddle holder here where you can lay your paddle straight across. Keeps it from rolling up and down. The seat has two positions, an up and a down position. Right now it's in the lower position, and I almost never use it in the lower position. I'll almost always keep it up like that, and I have storage that we'll go over in a little bit that goes underneath the seat. You can see on the sides I have the Yak Attack heavy duty anchor trolley system. It's installed. I had to build a riser for the lever lock because the lip on the Pelican kayak there kept it from mounting flush, and you wouldn't be able to use the lever lock if this was mounted directly to the hull. So I built a riser out of plastic, shaped it and mounted it, and then put on the rest of the anchor trolley system. I also, I'm a big believer in having options, so I also have the same anchor trolley on the other side, which gives me the option of how I want to anchor, depending on which side I can reach easiest. It also gives me the option of anchoring fore and aft if I wanted to or needed to. It also gives me the option to rig up a different system on one side and an anchor on the other side. I can use a brush hook or a drag chain or anything else that I want. The zigzag cleats on each side are for the anchor line that comes through the trolley. And in order to install all that, I had to install a little 4-inch hatch here to provide access to get up underneath to put all the fasteners in. Now the kayak came with the front hatch installed, but I bought a 10-inch hatch and put in the back. Actually, it's an 8-inch hatch, I believe, and gave me more storage area in the back also. And I keep things that I want to have with me that I wouldn't necessarily use regularly. First aid kit, stuff like that is what I keep in here. I also keep on the bottom of the kayak, I have a Skeg. One of the biggest complaints that people have about the Catch 120 is the tracking. The tunnel hole design on the bottom is very stable, but the tracking sucks. So I installed a Skeg. The mount for that is up underneath, and probably somewhere straight under here. And the Skeg just slides up into the mount. Now it had locks. You can see these little holes here where it locked in, and I took those out and tethered it. So if I hit a log or a stump or a rock or whatever, I don't rip out the bottom of my kayak, and I don't tear off the mount for it. It just knocks it back out of the mount, and I keep it tethered so I don't lose it. It'll just float along behind me until I replace it. Okay, so the seat, like I said, is a 2-position seat. I usually keep it in the high position, and I'll show you why. I have a box that I built right here, and it has the fastener on the bottom is a snap lock fastener. It's almost like Velcro, but not quite. It's a rigid fastener. It's more plasticky than Velcro is. And when it locks together, instead of just touching and locking like Velcro does, you actually push down on it and you'll hear it snap into place. Now what this is, and it fits right under my seat, is basically a junk drawer that I keep things in. I keep my phone, my pistol, my GPS, extra fishing tackle, pliers, whatever I want in there. And it's accessible while I'm fishing without having to turn around and reach back. The drawer just slides out, slides in. It's made out of PVC. I didn't realize that they made PVC in sheets, but they do, and it fastens together just like any other PVC with PVC glue. The only screws, the only metal or fasteners that I used in that whole box are these 2 little screws here that hold the drawer pull on. The rest of it is all glue. Alright, so when my box is in, the seat is on it. And of course I've got a life jacket with me. I've got my whistle attached to the life jacket so that it's always with me. I don't forget it, I don't lose it. I'm never far separated from it. In the back I have my fishing crate. This is actually made out of 3 milk crates. The bottom milk crate, and then there's a section of a top one, and then the very bottom of a third. And what it does for me is it gives me the option of being able to open it up on top, and I keep some things. There's my drag chains, a brush hook, a pair of pliers, my scupper plugs. And I can open up the next layer, and that's where I keep some extra fishing tackle and my anchor and floats and different mooring options. And then I had some small flexible cutting board, some high density polyethylene cutting board, and glued it down on top. So it provides some measure of water resistance to whatever's inside the crate, and it gives me a surface to work on if I need to. I attached a rod holder to the back of the crate, just put zip ties on it and attached it in, and each rod holder has a leash with it so I don't lose rods going underneath trees, overhanging limbs, what have you. I also, on all of the flush mount rod holders, I also installed head eyes for leashes. I need to use them more. Twice I've kicked my rods over the side and had to go over the side after them. I have a large feel-free fish bag that I can use. It goes down, fits over the bow, and this thing has snaps where it'll snap into these pad eyes. And they'll hold it secure. I can also use bungees and give it additional securing if I want. Has a lot of capacity to it. Also has bungees on top where I can tie down even more equipment on top of it if I needed to or wanted to. I actually have several different options for what to put on top of the bow here. The fish bag is one of them. And I also have a dry bag that I can bungee down on top of it. That's got my hammock, all of my camping gear, rain fly, everything else inside of it. Carabiners and straps, gear straps to hang my gear up off the ground when I'm camping. Now, this is my cart that I made for the Catch 120. Since the Catch 120 doesn't have pairs of scupper holes like most kayaks, you can't make one that fits up through the scuppers. It only has a single row of scuppers down the center line. So rather than fitting up through the holes, the kayak sits on top of these. And the way it does it, see if I can get over here and put you down somewhere where it has a handle on it. Lift up on the back of the kayak, put that in place, give the handle a twist and pull it. It comes off, and then I just pick up the front of the kayak and can move it around wherever I want to go. When I want to take it off, go back under here. You can see the mount for the Skeg that I've installed right there. There's no drilling or anything on it. It's just glued with goop onto the bottom of the hull. But I reinstall the handle. Lift the kayak off of it, and my cart is freed up. Now what I can do with this cart, it comes apart. Some parts of it are glued, some are not. Pull that pin, lift that wheel off, then we'll reinstall the washer and the pin here. Now this whole thing, when I'm going from wherever I left my truck on the river to wherever the other truck is where we're pulling out, I can take this with me. And all I do is open up my hatch, I didn't pull it far enough apart yet. Push that in there. the other wheel. The 2 bunks and the handle all go in there, and there's still room for other things. When I'm camping, I carry an axe, a hatchet, a machete, what have you. Put that in there. And all of these pad eyes up forward, the ones here, up on the bow, also have pad eyes inside corresponding. So if I wanted to tether some of this stuff inside the hatch, I don't lose it back down here into the hull. When I'm moving the kayak around, it doesn't slide anywhere. It's on a tether, and I can just pull it back up and get access to it. So that all stows in there, and I can put tie down straps, ratchet straps in there with it. Okay, I have my drink cooler. I actually carry 3 coolers with me sometimes on the kayak. This is my drink cooler, and you can see it's tall and narrow. It's a Magellan. Fits right in behind my seat. I can reach straight over my shoulder. I have access to whatever I need there. My food cooler can sit on the back of the kayak. Just straps right around those rod holders there. Most of the time on some of the sedate rivers that we kayak around here, this winds up riding up on the bow, just sitting there in reach and untethered. And that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.